everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and today's video is an update on the Brubaker Box. Now, I've got a lot of projects going on here, probably more than I ever have before, and it's kind of because I'm having a good time doing it. And I've been really lucky in the past couple of years to come across some amazing projects. The Brubaker Box being one of them. I seriously have wanted one of these cars since I was probably 10 years old when I first saw one at an auto show, cruising around with my dad. I just thought it was the closest thing to a Hot Wheels car that I had ever seen in real life, and I couldn't imagine ever having one, and here's one here in my garage. So obviously this thing is a little bit rough. If you've seen the previous videos on the car, you'll know what's up with it. I got this as a body from a buddy of mine, Mike, who had discovered it in the background of a photo of an ad for a boat, and he inquired about it and then bought it, and the moment he posted some photos, I knew it had to be mine. So we negotiated, made it happen, and got it here. I went and found a dune buggy, a full-length pan dune buggy that I could use the chassis from. It came with these awesome slot mags on it, which are correct for the Brubaker Box. We pulled the body off of that, did floor pan halves in it, so new metal underneath there, got all that thrown together in time for the body to arrive, and then set that body right down on the pan. So currently it's not bolted down on there, it is just sitting on there, so it's rolling. I did manage to find a windshield for it. We've installed that. New trim around the outside here. I still need to do something to attach this a little bit further. I've put a coat of paint on the roof, actually a couple of coats. The surface has kind of a rough texture to it by design. There are some areas where there's some little cracks and things like that. It's a difficult thing to kind of go and repair that and then maintain that leather look finish to it, and I haven't quite figured out how to do that, so I'm kind of doing the best that I can with the surface that's here, and if you look real close you may still see some of those cracks. Again, maybe another layer or two of paint, maybe, gosh, I don't know. If you've got any tips on what to do with that, please let me know. But in the meantime, I've got a good layer on that, so it's looking a lot better. I definitely have some repair work to do on the front bumper, so that's to come. And then obviously it needs paint. So I've been agonizing about what color to paint the Brubaker. It looks like originally it was a metal flake green. You can kind of see that there. It's hard to tell how bright it was, but it almost looks to be kind of an olive green. And while that's certainly 70s cool, it's not quite as bright as I think the car could pull off. I'd like to do it in something a little brighter. And I've been inspired by Hot Wheels colors. So I've been looking at the old Hot Wheels Spectra Flame color charts, pulling my old Hot Wheels out of my top drawer of my dresser, and kind of dreaming and scheming about what I want to do. So I'm not going to tell you what my choice is here until we're actually doing it, but I'm lining up to do body work and paint on this thing, hopefully here in the next couple weeks. In the meantime, though, I've got flat tires to deal with. Unfortunately, the Lee manhandlers are not going to make the cut. That one will not hold air, but I managed to get some good raised white letter BF Goodrich TA radials that I'm going to mount up on there. Going to restore those wheels so they're nice and shiny. We'll do the body and paint. I've got to restore that front bumper with the wood grain look. That's going to be a fun little project coming up. And then, well, just a ton of work. But the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And so right now I'm going to bite off a wheel here, see if I can get a new tire on there and maybe polish up that one wheel and get me a little bit closer to rolling in the Brubaker. Come on now. Come on, baby. It's going to take a little more than that. So when the Brubaker was on the cover of Car and Driver magazine in March of 1972, it had slot mags on here. And you can tell that they were polished to a pretty high shine. That's a glossy looking rig there. You can see that wood grain front bumper going on there. You can see the car here with its sketchy looking bumper and its really dull looking wheels. So I'm going to spend a little time trying to polish that up the best that I can. I was looking into possibly having them professionally polished, but everybody seems to either want a crap ton of money to do that, or it's a real pain in the butt to work with them. So I'm just going to give it a go myself, see if I can get them to shine up better than they do right now, get a little closer to that. And once I get the box painted and looking shiny, the wheels will look fantastic as well. Now I am doing a raised white letter like I did on here. I think that's 70s gold. I love the look of it. Obviously this show car here has black wall tires on it, but I think some of the other stuff may have shown it with raised white letters. Now, I guess that's probably the same car. In any case, I have seen some other ones with the raised white letter tires. I love that look. It's about as 70s as you can get, so I'm going to go with that. Plus, I happen to have some good raised white letter tires for the rear. I just had to buy front, so it'll meet this 14-inch here. So these things are pretty scruffy, some pits and stuff going on here. They're really not too bad. I think I'll be able to do most of this fairly simply. I'm going to get it wet, do a little wet sand here. I'm going to start with a 400 grit, which might be a little heavy, but I think it's going to take off the heaviest of the stuff. So I'm going to turn the hose off here, get sanding, and we'll see what we end up with. So I've given it a good pass with the 400 grit. Let's get the hose on here and see what we got. So I definitely have more to do here, but you can see it's getting a lot cleaner and smoother around that outside edge. I got to get down in here and really get to that. There's a machine groove or machine grooves that are kind of in this. It looks like when it was finished perhaps just machining or with some sort of rotary sander that went down in there or something. It definitely has a bit of a grooved finish all the way around. So getting down into those grooves is a little tough. And then getting down into this rough cast area, I've got to figure out what to do there. Whether I'm going to really try to clean that, sand it, or perhaps paint it. We'll find out what happens there the more I get into it. But that's a good start. So I started polishing and sanding on the wheels, definitely was making some progress there. And then I was talking with Ben, and he said, you know what, dude, bring those things up to me. I've got polishing compounds, I've got wheels, I've got even a thing I can put it on that'll spin, that'll allow me to get in there and polish that thing even quicker. And so, well, hell yeah, right on Ben. So I just gave him both front wheels. He's going to bring them back to his place, try to buff them up a little bit, and I'm going to work on another project. So the front bumper of the Brubaker is actually made out of fiberglass, and it's got this really crusty, I don't know, it's almost like undercoating on it, but it's supposed to have a wood grain finish. So I've been scraping at it here with this putty knife. Fortunately, this stuff is coming off pretty well, and I'm getting down to the substrate to that fiberglass there, and I should be able to sand that down and then give it a good faux wood grain finish. And it looks like it's in fairly good shape. There's a couple little chips and scratches here, which I can fill with a little putty, a couple things on the edges. But I should be able to get it nice and smooth, do that faux wood finish, a couple layers of clear and stuff on it, and have that convincing original look. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm making some good progress on stripping whatever that muck is off the bumper. And I realized that once I got down into the thickest stuff, if I used a little brake cleaner, I could actually wipe off what's there. The other thing I'm realizing is that on the ends, it's actually made to look like plywood. So there's little grooves that are along here as if it is laminated plywood, but this is a fiberglass piece. And you can see the kind of faux wood grain that is in there as well. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to clean up quite well enough to use as is, but that'll give me an excellent template of something to try to recreate. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to try to get off as much of this black as possible, get it down to the smooth original finish, and then we'll see where we get from there. But really interesting. You can see that plywood look. You can see the wood grain there. That'll give me something really good to work with. Well, I'm getting it significantly cleaner, but it is late out here, and I think it's time to call it quits for the evening. I'm going to go on in the house, get ready for bed, have a good shower, pet the dog, and then come on out another day to work on the Brubaker. But in any case, it's fun to lay some hands on it, get started with it, do something fun with that wonderful car. And looking ahead, next week, I think we're probably going to drag it out of the lab. I've got new tires here to put on it. Hopefully Ben comes back with those polished wheels, which will be awesome. And then I've got somebody coming in to help me do some finished body work and paint. And whether that happens next week or the week after, I guess we'll see. But I'm really excited about getting some color on the Brubaker and really jump-starting the process of getting that car back on the road. In any case, hope you enjoyed the little video here. Keep following along for updates on the Brubaker Box, as well as the other crazy stuff I have here in the lab. That's what Carchaeology is all about. It's me digging up this junk and making it go. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.